Is I, John Reagan, the uncommon voice for the common man, where I have emerged from my bubble to say a few words about this terrorist attack that is going on, even as we speak, in London, England. I guess the deal here with this terrorist attack is who is responsible for it. Now, as of this moment, we know sadly one person's been killed. There's a lot of people with catastrophic injuries. The London police are treating this as an active terrorist attack. That's right, terrorist attack. Now, we don't know who the person is. So let me preface what I'm about to say by saying exactly that. We don't know for certain who this person is, but there are some indications about what it might be. And I'm going to go out on a limb right now and be the first one to say that I think it may very well be one of these damn peace-loving Muslims that we hear about perpetrating these attacks all over the world. That's right. Now, we don't know for sure, but I'm willing to bet that it is a Muslim. And until that time, I just dare somebody to prove me wrong. I'm going to tell you this right now. The MO on this attack sounds vaguely, well, not vaguely, it just sounds like the MO that happened, let's say, in Nice, France. You know, somebody driving a vehicle, running over pedestrians, you know. Yeah, that kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it? Yes, it does. But since we really don't know, I'm just speculating. But that doesn't mean that I can't say a few things about it, because unlike the mainstream media or other people that are politically correct, I don't give a damn. And I'm willing to bet my money on the damn peace-loving Muslims. But with that being said, let's just think about this for a second, shall we? Now, let's just say that you're the New York Times, the Washington Post, ABC, CBS, and God help them people with MSNBC if it is a peace-loving Muslim. And all those people are right now shaking in their boots that this person might be a Muslim. Can you only imagine how they are thinking and how they're cringing and how they're just horrified that this might actually be a Muslim that's behind this? And that poses, let's just say it is, do you realize what sort of problems this is going to make for the people in the mainstream media? Oh yeah, and it gets more interesting than that. I'm pretty sure that the mayor of London is a peace-loving Muslim. Now, what's he going to do if one of his fellow peace-loving Muslims is responsible for killing and injuring his citizens? That's right. That possibility's out there. Just think, the peace-loving mayor of London might have to deal with the fact that somebody of his peace-loving religion is just going around. We know of one fatality, sadly, and there's all kinds of people seriously injured. And if this is caused by a peace-loving Muslim, what's the mayor of London going to have to tell his people? Well, I can give him a hint. He could take a lesson from our former president. When stuff like this happens, happens in this country, our president would stride to the microphone and say, we must not jump to conclusions until all the facts are in. That's what he said about the Fort Hood shooter that was a peace-loving Muslim. Of course, the guy that had the trauma over in Afghanistan, one of our soldiers that went berserk and killed people over in Afghanistan, sadly, he didn't get the same benefit as the soldier that killed all these people in Fort Hood that was a peace-loving Muslim. See? And then, what about this? What about that guy out there in Hawaii, the federal judge that just shot down President Trump's travel ban? If it turns out that this guy is a peace-loving Muslim, and God help him if it's from one of those 5 countries that are included in this ban, what's that guy going to do? And he'll be sitting out there in Waikiki going, oh my God, no, it might have been a Muslim. He'll drop his Mai Tai and go swimming into the ocean, hoping that Dog the Bounty Hunter and Big Bouncy Boobs will bring her flotillas out there and save him from drowning himself. And that's the long and the short about this. And what about all these other states that don't want the travel ban? You know, those leftist idiots out in Washington State, California, Oregon, all those idiots out there. Can you imagine what they're thinking right now? Oh my gosh, this might be a Muslim, and this might mean that Trump's travel ban might not be a bad idea. Oh man, I bet you they are shaking in their burqas right now all over the Pacific Northwest and California and in Hawaii. That's right. This would be awful news if it turns out that it is a peace-loving Muslim for them. But since I'm on here, I've always wanted to say this. Since this whole thing with the travel ban and getting shot down by a federal judge the first time, and now getting shot down by a federal appointed judge the second time, here's what we can do. Let's just say it is a peace-loving Muslim. And this judge out in Hawaii, he doesn't know what to do. These people in Oregon, California, and Washington State, they're perplexed by this. What are they going to do? Well, here, I can solve this problem for you. And this is what President Trump should do without question. What he needs to do is say, okay, I've decided that you're right, and I'm going to go ahead and lift the travel ban. But here's the deal. Once I lift the travel ban, these people, including the Syrian refugees and the people immigrating here from the 5-6 countries that's in the travel ban, here's the proviso. They can only go to Hawaii, California, Oregon, and Washington State. Those are the only 4 places that they can go to. And there will be federal immigration employees at the 4 airports that they would be allowed to fly into. That would be Honolulu, LAX, San Francisco, and Seattle, Washington. Maybe Portland, Oregon. And that's it. That's the only airports you'll be allowed to come into. Immigration people will be there, and they will give them an identification card. And they will be told that they can go to anywhere in those states that they want to. However, if they're caught outside those states and in the act of committing a crime and are picked up by a law enforcement officer in the performance of his duty, and he's got the card or he doesn't have the card, and it turns out he has left those states that I just mentioned, he is going to spend at least no more than 2 years in a federal penitentiary. And then they're going to be deported. No questions asked. No more than 2 years. Now, if they're caught a second time, they're going to do 10 years in a federal penitentiary. And as for all these states, I guess with the 4 I just mentioned, and there's 13 of them, which means there's 9 more states that sided with this judge out in Hawaii. Okay, so as for you people, here's a little something for you too. Okay, so you people seem to love these peace-loving Muslims so much. This is what we're going to do for you. If you are willing to sign a waiver that says that you will be legally and financially responsible for all these peace-loving Muslims that are coming into this country, then they can come to your state too. As long as you sign that waiver, that means that you will be held legally and financially responsible for them. That way, if they commit a violent act or any crime at all against the citizens in your state, when that inevitable class action lawsuit comes, you're going to be named in it, and you're going to be held responsible for it. And with any luck, you'll have to pay the settlement cost. But if you're willing to take that risk and sign that statement, they're coming your way. And that's just all there is to it. So, there you have it. Now, all we have to do is sit and wait and find out the identity of this perpetrator of this crime in London. But I am laying my odds on the fact that I believe that the person is a peace-loving Muslim. And I could be wrong, but once again, I'm not bound by the rules of political correctness. Until next time, this is your favorite conservative, Ronald Reagan, saying this to you now. Remember, when news breaks out, I break in because I am a deplorable person. Until next time, I say this to you now. Over and out.